Suck it up and squirt it out with a Gak Back. Pump it up and blow it up with a Gak Inflator.
Forget viral marketing. The most infectious content of the 90s was delivered through a CRT screen in 30-second bursts. It was a time when a screaming rock anthem could sell a board game, and a fast-talking man could create a nationwide obsession with tiny cars. These are the forgotten ads that didn't just build brands, they built our childhoods. Number 1. Micro Machines. Who can forget the voice that spoke in Fast Forward? Micro Machines were the line of minuscule, intricately detailed vehicles that were smaller than a thumbnail. From sports cars and monster trucks to military aircraft and entire city playsets, Micro Machines offered a universe of play that could fit into a shoebox. The commercials were an assault on the senses, driven by one of the most memorable pitchmen in advertising history, John Moshida Jr., the world's fastest talker. The ads would open with a deceptively normal scene before Moshida would appear, launching into a lightning-fast, breathless monologue listing every feature, every vehicle, and every playset available. If it doesn't say Micro Machines, it's not the real thing. He'd conclude, the words blurring into a single percussive sound.
So if you want to have more fun, get out in the sun with the Micro Machine Sun Color Changers from Galoob. Remember, if it doesn't say Micro Machines, it's not the real thing.
The visual style mirrored his rapid-fire delivery. Quick cuts, dramatic zooms, and countless tiny cars racing across elaborate tracks created a sense of overwhelming abundance and exhilarating speed. The camera would pan across dozens, even hundreds of vehicles, reinforcing the core appeal, collectability. The ads promised not just a toy, but an entire world you could command. A world so vast and detailed, it required a special kind of verbal velocity to even describe. The Micro Machines ad taught us about the power of scale and collection. It wasn't about having one car, it was about having all the cars. Moshida's unique delivery made the brand feel energetic, exciting, and utterly unique. The ad's speed and density were a perfect metaphor for a child's imagination, a place where 1,000 different stories could happen at once. It implanted the idea that the more you had, the bigger your world could be, a lesson in miniature materialism that felt like pure, unadulterated fun. Number 2. Crossfire. This heavy metal board game battle was less about strategy and more about frantic kinetic warfare. Two players furiously turned cranks to fire small ball bearings from plastic cannons, trying to push 2 pucks into the opponent's goal. It was, in essence, a tabletop demolition derby. The Crossfire commercial was pure, unadulterated 90s melodrama. It eschewed the bright, cheerful tones of its contemporaries for a dark, industrial, post-apocalyptic battlefield. 2 kids decked out in vaguely futuristic gear and sporting intensely serious expressions faced off under dramatic, low-angle lighting. The entire spectacle was set to a screaming, gravelly rock anthem with a jingle that drilled itself into your brain. Crossfire. You'll get caught up in the crossfire. Slow-motion shots of the ball bearings colliding with the pucks, complete with explosive sound effects, made the game feel like a high-stakes gladiatorial combat.
It's sometime in the future. The ultimate challenge.
The commercial ended with the triumphant player raising their arms in victory as their defeated opponent looked on in despair. It wasn't just a game, it was an epic struggle for supremacy. This ad transformed a simple tabletop game into an event of mythic proportions. It told us that play could be intense, competitive, and seriously cool. For many kids, the Crossfire commercial was their first taste of over-the-top action movie aesthetics. It validated a more aggressive, competitive form of play and made you feel like a futuristic warrior every time you sat down to play. You weren't just knocking pucks around, you were getting caught in the crossfire. Number 3. Skip It. Remember the jingle that launched a million ankle bruises? A simple but ingenious device, a plastic hoop connected by a cord to a ball with a smaller ring on the other end to go around your ankle. You'd swing the ball in a circle and hop over the cord with your other foot. The deluxe model featured a counter on the ball to track your skips. The effectiveness of the Skip It ad rested entirely on its ridiculously catchy upbeat jingle. The commercial featured a diverse group of kids, all clad in neon and denim, effortlessly skipping away in sunny, suburban locales. Their synchronized hopping was hypnotic, but it was the song that did the heavy lifting. But the very best thing of all is the counter on the ball, so you can skip it, try to beat your very best score.
There's a counter on this ball, so try to beat your very best score. See if you can jump a whole lot more. Skip it.
The jingle was a masterclass in advertising. It explained the toy, highlighted its key features, the counter, and issued a direct challenge to the viewer, all in a sing-song medley that was impossible to forget. The ad presented Skip It not just as a toy, but as a lifestyle, a fun, active, and social pursuit. The Skip It ad is a monument to the power of the earworm. You heard that song once and it was with you for the rest of the day, if not the week. It created a nationwide phenomenon, turning a simple plastic toy into a status symbol on the playground. It was the original fitness tracker for kids, gamifying physical activity long before it was a trend. The ad promised a simple, repeatable joy, and for countless scraped ankles and triumphant high scores, it delivered. Number 4. Teddy Ruxpin. Ah yes, the animatronic storyteller. Teddy Ruxpin was a talking teddy bear that was a technological marvel for its time. His eyes and mouth moved in sync with stories and songs played from a cassette tape inserted into his back. He was less of a stuffed animal and more of an animatronic companion. Unlike the high-energy ads of its peers, the Teddy Ruxpin commercial was gentle, warm, and deeply emotional. It portrayed Teddy not as a toy, but as a true friend. The commercials featured soft lighting, gentle music, and shots of children curled up with Teddy, captivated by his stories.
Miss Teddy Ruxpin. He talks, he tells stories,
The ad focused on the relationship between child and bear, showing Teddy as a confidant, a teacher, and a magical portal to the world of Grundo. The key was the subtle animatronics. The ad lingered on close-ups of Teddy's blinking eyes and moving mouth. This wasn't just a pre-recorded voice, this was a character coming to life right in your room. The tagline, "The World of Teddy Ruxpin," suggested that buying the bear was an entry point into a rich, ongoing narrative adventure. Teddy Ruxpin's ad sold the ultimate childhood fantasy, a toy that could truly interact with you. In an era before smart devices, this felt like magic. The commercial promised companionship, a cure for loneliness, and a storybook that never ended. It taught us that a toy could be more than an object. It could be a character with a personality and a world of its own. It set a new standard for what an interactive toy could be and left an indelible mark on any child who longed for a friend who could tell them stories. Number 5. Street Sharks. Jawsome, extreme, and quintessential 90s. Street Sharks were anthropomorphic shark action figures with exaggerating muscles and fearsome jaws. As part of the 90s extreme attitude trend, they were the grittier, toothier answer to the Ninja Turtles. Jawsome. That one word captures the entire ethos of the Street Sharks commercials. The ads were a sensory overload of 90s cool. They often featured a mix of animation from the accompanying TV show and live-action shots of the toys. The premise was simple. 4 brothers, mutated into half-man, half-shark crime fighters. The ads depicted them bursting through asphalt, street sharks, get it? Biting through steel, and generally being rebellious heroes.
4 innocent brothers into huge creatures. Half-man, half-shark.
The commercials were loud, fast, and full of aggressive rock music. The focus was always on the action features, the chomping jaws, the punching arms, and the monstrous designs. It was pure power fantasy, distilled into 30 seconds of animated mayhem. The Street Sharks ad was a perfect time capsule of mid-90s pop culture. It was all about attitude, and tapped into the same countercultural energy that fueled grunge music and skateboarding. The ad told kids it was cool to be a monster, to be rough around the edges. It was an alternative to the clean-cut heroes, offering a brand of heroism that was ferocious and unapologetically extreme. For a generation of kids, Jawsome became a legitimate part of their vocabulary. Number 6. Gak. You remember the splat heard around the world, right? The strange, pliable, and fluorescent goo manufactured by Mattel and heavily branded by Nickelodeon? Gak wasn't for building or battling. It was for squeezing, stretching, and most importantly, making rude noises. The Gak commercials were a celebration of the gross and the bizarre. They were less about narrative and more about visceral sensory experience. The ads were a cacophony of sounds, splats, squishes, stretches, and of course the signature flatulent noise it made when squished back into its container.
Suck it up and squirt it out with a Gak back. Pump it up and blow it up with a Gak inflator.
Visually, it was a riot of bright Nickelodeon orange and green, featuring kids gleefully dropping Gak from heights, stretching it to impossible lengths, and pressing it against surfaces to make prints. The Nickelodeon branding was crucial. It positioned Gak not just as a toy, but as a piece of the rebellious, slime-centric culture that the network championed. The ads felt like they were made by kids for kids with a healthy dose of anti-adult mischief. The Gak ad legitimized messy, unstructured play and told us it was okay, even cool, to be a little gross. It was a tactile toy, sold through an auditory and visual medium, a testament to the power of sound design. The Gak splat became an iconic sound of the era, and the toy itself became synonymous with the Nickelodeon brand of fun. It was a rebellion in a plastic container, a permission slip to make a mess and laugh about it. Number 7. Talkboy. Are you even a 90s kid if you didn't put Talkboy on your Christmas list? Originally a non-working prop in the movie Home Alone 2 Lost in New York, the Talkboy was a handheld cassette player and recorder with a killer feature. A switch that could slow down or speed up your voice, making you sound like a deep-voiced adult. The commercial had the ultimate celebrity endorsement: Kevin McAllister! The ads were built almost entirely around clips from Home Alone 2, showing Kevin using the Talkboy to outsmart the villainous hotel staff. We saw him slowing down his voice to make a hotel reservation, a moment of cinematic genius that every kid instantly wanted to replicate.
Talkboy tape recorder.
Hey, stop drooling on me.
The ad sold a fantasy of empowerment. With the Talkboy, you weren't just a kid anymore. You were a clever spy, a prankster, a miniature adult who could bend the world to your will. The commercial framed the device as a tool for mischief and independence, a piece of movie magic you could hold in your hand. The Talkboy ad was a masterclass in movie tie-in marketing. It didn't just sell a toy, it sold the experience of being your favorite movie hero. It tapped into a universal childhood desire to be older, smarter, and more in control. The voice-changing feature felt like incredibly sophisticated technology, a secret weapon that could be used for endless pranks on parents and siblings. It was the ultimate tool for a budding generation of smart Alex. Number 8. Creepy crawlers. The Thingmaker oven allowed kids to create their own rubbery insects, spiders, and monsters. You'd pour liquid Plastigoop into metal molds, cook them in the light bulb-powered oven, and then cool them in a water tray to produce your own army of creepy crawlies. The Creepy Crawlers ad was all about the process. It was a mini documentary on how to become a monster-making master. The commercial showed kids in a lab-like setting, meticulously pouring the colorful goop and carefully operating the Thingmaker.
Creepy crawlers.
The bubbling of the plastic goop as it cooked was a key visual, making it look like a real science experiment. The payoff was always the big reveal: the kid pulling a perfectly formed, disgustingly detailed rubber bug from its mold. The ads emphasized creativity and a touch of danger. That oven got hot. The tagline, "They're crawling with fun," was accompanied by shots of kids using their creations to scare their sisters or decorate their rooms. This ad sold the joy of creation. It was one of the first mainstream toys that was about making, not just playing. It appealed to the budding scientist and artist in every kid, giving them the power to manufacture their own toys. In a world of pre-packaged fun, Creepy Crawlers offered a hands-on experience that was a little bit dangerous, a little bit gross, and incredibly rewarding. It was a precursor to the entire DIY and maker culture, teaching a generation the satisfaction of saying, "I made this myself." Number 9. My Pet Monster. Here's where things got a little out of control in the 90s. A large plush monster doll with blue fur, a horned face, and most notably, a pair of breakable orange plastic handcuffs. You might remember it best as the friend with handcuffs. He was designed to be a monster friend for boys, a market dominated by cute and cuddly animals. The My Pet Monster commercial was brilliant in its subversion of expectations. It opened with a shot of the monster, looking menacing in the dark. But then a young boy would appear and treat him not with fear, but with affection.
He breaks his chains.
Put him on you and break away too.
With My Pet Monster, you're busting loose.
The commercial's iconic scene showed the monster breaking free from his plastic chains, a powerful visual metaphor for unleashing your wild side. The ad positioned the monster as a loyal, powerful protector and a fun-loving companion. He was tough enough to be cool, but soft enough to be a plush toy. The jingle was simple and effective. My Pet Monster, my best friend. It perfectly balanced the scary and the sweet. The My Pet Monster ad broke new ground by marketing a scary doll as a lovable companion for boys. It told kids that it was okay to embrace the monstrous and that friendship could be found in unlikely places. Break-apart handcuffs were a stroke of genius, providing an interactive feature that fueled imaginative play about power and freedom. He was the perfect friend for any kid who felt a little bit like a monster themselves. Number 10. Polly Pocket. The original Polly Pocket was not the 3-inch doll of later years, but a micro-scale doll less than an inch tall living inside a clamshell compact case that doubled as her entire world. A house, a cafe, a castle. You might even recall the catchphrase, "a world in the palm of your hand." The Polly Pocket commercials were all about the magic of miniaturization. They used extreme close-ups and a soft, dreamy voiceover to emphasize the tiny, intricate details of Polly's world. The ads always highlighted the portability and secrecy of the toy. A girl could be seen opening her compact in class or on the bus, revealing a hidden universe that was hers alone. Polly Pocket, it's a world in your pocket, the jingle chirped. The magic was in the reveal, the opening of the compact to show a fully realized environment within.
Open up your case, there's a world for you.
Wow.
So many fine places, still lots to do. Polly Pocket, Polly Pocket, Polly Pocket, so small you can take her anywhere.
The ad sold the fantasy of being a gentle giant, the secret keeper of a tiny person's life. It was a quiet, personal, and endlessly fascinating world. In a world that often feels too big and overwhelming for a child, the Polly Pocket ad offered a world you could control completely. It was the ultimate portable fantasy, a secret you could carry with you anywhere. The ads appealed to a desire for order, detail, and ownership. It taught a generation about the joy of the miniature, the delight in discovering tiny staircases, hidden rooms, and a whole life story that could fit in the palm of your hand. These commercials are more than just nostalgic curiosities. They are cultural artifacts that captured the essence of play for a generation. They operated in a time of shared experience where millions of kids saw the same ad at the same time, creating a common language of jingles and desires. They taught us to be fast talkers, epic competitors, creative monster makers, and keepers of tiny secret worlds. Today, many of these toys may be gone, gathering dust or commanding high prices on eBay. The commercials exist as grainy uploads on YouTube, but their legacy endures. They are the phantom jingles that still play in the back of our minds, the 30-second daydreams that shaped our imaginations, and the unforgettable proof that sometimes the commercial was just as fun as the toy itself.